Hello friends, welcome to Book Bites. Today we'll talk about Einstein Never Used Flashcards book by Diane E. Iyer, Kathy Hirsch-Pasek, and Roberta Michnik-Golinkoff. Einstein Never Used Flashcards: How Our Children Really Learn and Why They Need to Play More and Memorize Less by Roberta Michnik-Golinkoff and Kathy Hirsch-Pasek is a powerful and evidence-based book that challenges conventional wisdom about early childhood education. The authors argue against the common practice of pushing children into academic learning too soon, emphasizing the importance of play in fostering cognitive, emotional, and social development. The title itself is a nod to the famous scientist Albert Einstein, who, contrary to popular belief, did not excel in academics because of rote memorization or early flashcard drills. Instead, his brilliance was a result of curiosity, creativity, and the ability to think critically, skills that develop more effectively through exploration and play, rather than passive learning methods. Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek present a compelling case for why early childhood education should be less focused on formal instruction and more centered on developmental play. Drawing on years of research in developmental psychology, neuroscience, and education, the authors highlight the profound role that free, unstructured play has in children's learning and development. They argue that children learn best when they are engaged in activities that promote problem-solving, creativity, and social interaction, activities that foster their innate ability to learn and think for themselves. Throughout Einstein Never Used Flashcards, the authors provide parents, educators, and caregivers with practical advice and strategies to nurture a child's natural curiosity and learning potential. The book encourages a shift in focus from academic pressures to developmental strategies that cultivate well-rounded, curious, and capable individuals. In essence, the book offers a blueprint for raising children who are not only academically successful but also emotionally intelligent, creative, and resilient. Let's explore the concepts of the book, breaking them down point by point, and refining the explanation to ensure clarity and precision. Point 1. The power of play. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, one of the key concepts emphasized by the authors is the importance of play in a child's development. Play is not just a way for children to pass the time, it is a crucial tool for learning and cognitive development. Research consistently shows that unstructured play is an essential component of early childhood education, as it fosters creativity, problem-solving, social skills, and emotional regulation. The book argues that children learn best when they are allowed to explore their environment, interact with others, and engage in activities that encourage them to think critically. Play allows children to experiment, make mistakes, and learn from those experiences in a way that structured activities or rote memorization cannot. Through play, children develop a sense of autonomy, self-confidence, and an understanding of the world around them. This in turn enhances their ability to grasp complex concepts later in life. Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek stress that free play, where children are given the opportunity to choose what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, creates the foundation for lifelong learning. In fact, studies show that children who engage in more play during their early years tend to have better academic performance, stronger problem-solving skills, and greater emotional intelligence as they grow older. In contrast, the authors caution against overscheduling children with structured activities and academic drills, such as flashcards or intensive instruction. While these activities may seem productive, they often take away from the child's ability to learn through natural exploration. The book advocates for a balance between learning and play, encouraging parents to create environments where both can coexist. Through anecdotes, research, and expert opinions, Einstein Never Used Flashcards illustrates how play can be a catalyst for cognitive, social, and emotional growth. The authors make the case that by prioritizing play, parents and caregivers are giving children the tools they need to develop into independent, creative, and curious thinkers who will succeed both inside and outside the classroom. Point 2. The myth of the educational toys. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek tackle the myth that educational toys are essential for a child's development. Many parents are often led to believe that toys that claim to teach specific skills, whether it's math, language, or fine motor skills, are necessary for their child's cognitive growth. However, the authors argue that these toys are often not as beneficial as they appear and can sometimes even hinder the child's development. The book highlights that the most effective learning occurs through play that is free, imaginative, and open-ended, rather than through rigid toys designed to teach specific skills. While toys that are labeled as educational may provide temporary engagement or stimulation, they often limit a child's creativity by dictating how the child should interact with them. For example, A toy that encourages a child to press buttons to hear numbers or letters might teach the child to recognize these concepts, but it does not foster the deeper understanding or curiosity that can come from engaging in imaginative play, like building blocks or puzzles. The authors argue that this type of play encourages more active problem solving, spatial awareness, and creative thinking, which are far more critical to development than the passive learning associated with many educational toys. Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek emphasize the importance of interactive and imaginative play over structured instructional toys. They suggest that simple open-ended toys such as dolls, Legos, or basic art supplies are far more valuable because they encourage creativity, social interactions, and critical thinking. These toys provide a blank canvas where children can engage in self-directed learning, ask questions, explore ideas, and make decisions. For example, when children engage in pretend play, like acting out scenes or creating stories with dolls, they are not only honing their imagination, but also developing language skills, emotional intelligence, and social competence. The authors caution parents not to fall for the marketing of expensive prepackaged learning tools and instead focus on providing children with quality time, unstructured play, and the opportunity to explore the world in their own way. They stress that it is not the fancy brand-name toys that will help children succeed academically or socially, but rather the experiences that allow them to engage with the world, ask questions, and play freely. By challenging the emphasis on educational toys, Einstein Never Used Flashcards encourages parents to reconsider how they approach their child's learning environment, recognizing that a toy's true value lies in how it sparks imagination and independent thought rather than its ability to teach a predetermined lesson. Point 3. The importance of emotional development. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek argue that emotional development is just as critical as cognitive development during the early years of a child's life. The authors stress that a child's emotional well-being is fundamental to their ability to learn and grow in other areas, including social interactions, problem-solving, and academic achievement. In fact, emotional development can be seen as the cornerstone of a child's overall success in life, and it cannot be overlooked in favor of focusing solely on intellectual or academic skills. One of the central points the authors make is that emotional regulation, the ability to recognize and manage one's emotions, is a learned skill that begins early in life. Babies and young children are naturally in a state of emotional vulnerability, and the way their caregivers respond to their emotional needs plays a significant role in shaping their emotional intelligence. The book emphasizes that children who are taught to understand and express their emotions in healthy ways are better equipped to cope with challenges, navigate relationships, and succeed in both their personal and academic lives. Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek discuss how emotional intelligence (EQ) has been found to be just as, if not more important than IQ in predicting success later in life. Emotional intelligence helps children develop empathy, resilience, and social skills, all of which are essential for building relationships, collaborating with others, and succeeding in an ever-changing world. For example, children who can express frustration appropriately, share their feelings, and understand the emotions of others tend to perform better in group settings and are more likely to build strong, supportive relationships. Moreover, the book underscores the connection between emotional development and self-regulation, a key skill for school readiness. Self-regulation refers to a child's ability to focus their attention, control impulses, and stay calm in challenging situations. These skills are critical not only for academic success, but also for navigating life's challenges. The authors provide practical advice on how parents and caregivers can foster emotional intelligence by creating a safe and supportive environment for children to express their feelings. This involves acknowledging a child's emotions, offering comfort, and teaching them coping strategies like deep breathing or taking breaks. The authors suggest that fostering emotional development is not about sheltering children from difficult emotions or situations, but rather helping them build resilience and the tools to handle life's inevitable challenges. When children feel emotionally supported, they are more likely to engage in learning, try new things, and take healthy risks that contribute to their growth and development. In essence, Einstein Never Used Flashcards makes the case that emotional development should be prioritized alongside academic learning. By focusing on the emotional well-being of children, parents and educators can lay the foundation for a well-rounded, confident, and resilient individual who is prepared to face the challenges of life with a positive and adaptive mindset. Point 4. The power of play-based learning. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, one of the most crucial concepts highlighted is the importance of play-based learning. Golenkov and Hirsch-Pasek advocate for the idea that play is not just a form of entertainment for young children, but an essential part of their cognitive, emotional, and social development. The authors challenge the notion that structured academic activities, like flashcards or worksheets, are the best way to teach young children. Instead, they emphasize that children learn best when they are engaged in play that is free, spontaneous, and driven by their natural curiosity. The book explains that play-based learning occurs when children explore the world around them through imaginative, interactive, and sensory experiences. This type of learning is holistic. It stimulates the brain, nurtures creativity, encourages problem-solving, and develops social and emotional skills. The authors argue that, contrary to popular belief, play is not a waste of time, but rather a vital tool for intellectual growth. For instance, when children build with blocks, they are not just playing, they are experimenting with shapes, understanding spatial relationships, learning cause and effect, and practicing fine motor skills. The book highlights research showing that free play helps children develop executive functioning skills, which include attention, memory, and self-regulation. These skills are important for academic success and later life. For example, when children engage in dramatic play, such as pretending to be doctors, teachers, or astronauts, they practice problem-solving, collaboration, and communication. These pretend scenarios also help children understand and empathize with different perspectives, fostering social and emotional intelligence. Golenkov and Hirsch-Pasek also discuss how interactive play promotes learning in ways that passive, screen-based activities cannot. Research shows that children who spend excessive time on screens such as watching TV or playing video games miss out on important opportunities for interaction with caregivers, peers, and their environment. Screen time, while sometimes educational, often lacks the depth of learning that children gain from social interactions and physical engagement in play. Another key point made in the book is that play helps children make sense of the world around them. Whether it's through exploring nature, building with Legos, or playing with toys that encourage pretend play, children use their imagination to understand complex concepts. For example, when a child plays house, they might act out a family scenario which helps them understand relationships, roles, and emotions. This kind of symbolic play allows children to engage with abstract ideas in a concrete and meaningful way. Furthermore, the authors stress that parents and caregivers play a vital role in facilitating play-based learning. Instead of pushing children into structured learning environments too early, parents should encourage them to engage in activities that spark curiosity and provide opportunities for self-expression. By joining in on play, offering support, and providing an enriching environment, caregivers help guide children through the process of learning through play. In summary, Golenkov and Hirsch-Pasek argue that play is not just fun, it's foundational to learning. Through play, children gain the cognitive, emotional, and social skills necessary for success in school and beyond. Play-based learning is more than just entertainment. It is a crucial method of exploring, understanding, and interacting with the world. The authors stress that rather than focusing on early academic skills, parents should create an environment where play thrives, giving children the freedom to learn at their own pace, guided by their interests and natural curiosity. Point 5. The importance of a secure attachment. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, Golenkov and Hirsch-Pasek emphasize the profound impact that a secure attachment has on a child's development. The concept of attachment refers to the emotional bond that forms between a child and their caregivers, and this bond is one of the most critical factors influencing a child's future growth, learning, and overall well-being. According to the book, a secure attachment provides children with the emotional safety they need to explore the world and build trust in others, which in turn fosters a sense of confidence and curiosity. The authors explain that attachment theory, originally proposed by psychologist John Bowlby, highlights the need for children to have at least one stable, loving, and responsive caregiver. Children who experience secure attachment feel safe to express their emotions, seek comfort when distressed, and explore their environment. This sense of safety and trust is essential for healthy development in all areas, cognitive, emotional, and social. When a child is securely attached to their caregiver, they are more likely to develop positive social skills, perform well in school, and have a healthy sense of self-worth. The book stresses that secure attachment is not just about providing for a child's physical needs, such as food and shelter, but about being emotionally available and responsive. When caregivers respond to a child's needs with warmth, affection, and consistency, children learn to trust others and feel secure in their relationships. This emotional foundation enables them to build meaningful connections with peers and adults later in life. One of the key ideas presented in the book is that secure attachment plays a significant role in self-regulation. Children who have a strong positive attachment to their caregivers are better able to manage their emotions and reactions in challenging situations. For example, a child who feels safe and supported is more likely to handle frustration or disappointment without becoming overwhelmed. This ability to manage emotions and regulate behavior is critical for success in both academic and social settings. Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek emphasize that the quality of attachment is more important than the quantity of time spent with a child. While spending time with a child is important, it's the responsiveness, consistency, and warmth shown during that time that matters most. Even brief interactions can create a strong bond if they are emotionally attuned to the child's needs. The authors suggest that caregivers should be fully present during these moments, offering comfort, support, and validation. Furthermore, the book suggests that attachment isn't a one-way street. Caregivers also benefit from having a secure attachment with their children. The mutual exchange of affection and emotional bonding can improve caregivers' own emotional well-being and increase their sensitivity to their child's needs. This in turn strengthens the relationship and provides the child with a greater sense of stability and comfort. The book also highlights that attachment patterns developed in early childhood have a long-lasting impact. Children who experience insecure attachment due to inconsistent, neglectful, or overly controlling caregiving may struggle with issues such as anxiety, difficulty forming relationships, or challenges in regulating their emotions later in life. However, the authors reassure parents that it's never too late to build secure attachment. Even if a child's early experiences were not ideal, creating a consistent and nurturing environment in later years can help foster trust and security. In conclusion, Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek emphasize that attachment is at the core of a child's ability to learn and thrive. Secure attachment provides children with the emotional foundation they need to explore, experiment, and take risks, all of which are essential for healthy development. By prioritizing emotional availability and responsiveness, caregivers can build a secure attachment that serves as the cornerstone of a child's growth, setting them up for success in all areas of life. Point 6. The power of play in early learning. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, the authors emphasize the critical role that play has in a child's cognitive, emotional, and social development. While many parents focus on structured learning through flashcards or formal lessons, the book argues that unstructured play is the most effective way for children to develop essential skills. The authors stress that play is not just about fun. It's a fundamental process that promotes problem-solving, creativity, emotional regulation, and social interaction, laying the foundation for lifelong learning. According to Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek, play helps children learn more effectively than any formal instructional technique. They point out that the brain develops through the process of active exploration, where children engage with their environment, manipulate objects, and interact with others. In these moments of play, children are actively processing the world around them, learning about cause and effect, spatial relationships, and even the social dynamics of cooperation and conflict. One key concept in the book is the idea that play fosters intrinsic motivation. When children are allowed to play freely, they develop an internal desire to explore and discover. The book contrasts this with the extrinsic motivation fostered by formal educational systems, where children are often rewarded with stickers or praise for completing tasks. In play, there is no external reward. Instead, children find joy and satisfaction in the act of learning itself. This intrinsic motivation is essential for developing a love of learning that will serve them well in both their academic and personal lives. Play also enhances social development by teaching children the skills they need to interact with others. Whether they're playing with peers, siblings, or adults, children learn important social skills such as turn-taking, negotiation, empathy, and conflict resolution. Through play, children practice theory of mind, which is the ability to understand that others have thoughts, feelings, and perspectives different from their own. These skills are crucial for developing strong, healthy relationships throughout life. The authors also argue that different types of play foster different kinds of learning. For example, physical play such as running, jumping, or climbing helps children develop motor skills, coordination, and spatial awareness. Pretend play, where children create imaginary worlds and scenarios, nurtures creativity, problem-solving, and emotional intelligence. Meanwhile, constructive play, where children build or create with objects like blocks or clay, supports their understanding of shapes, sizes, and cause and effect relationships. One of the most profound insights of the book is the way play connects learning with emotional regulation. When children play, they experience a range of emotions: excitement, frustration, joy, and disappointment. These emotional experiences are not only natural, but also serve as opportunities for children to learn how to manage their feelings. For instance, when a child is upset because they can't solve a problem in a game, it's an opportunity to develop resilience and perseverance. The authors highlight that emotional regulation is a skill that needs to be cultivated from a young age, and play provides a safe space for children to practice this important life skill. Additionally, the book emphasizes that the quality of play is more important than the quantity. It's not just about how much time children spend playing, but how engaged they are during that time. High-quality play occurs when children are actively engaged, making choices, solving problems, and using their imagination. The authors suggest that caregivers can enhance the quality of play by providing children with open-ended toys, such as building blocks, art supplies, or natural objects like sticks and rocks, that allow for creativity and self-expression. This kind of play, where there is no single correct way to play, encourages children to think critically and problem-solve, skills that are invaluable in all areas of life. The book also touches on the role of adult involvement in play. While play should be child-directed, Golinkoff and Hirsch-Pasek suggest that adults can enrich children's play experiences by being involved in certain ways. For instance, they can provide new materials, ask open-ended questions, or simply join in the play in a non-directive way. The idea is to support children's exploration without taking over the play or imposing adult expectations on them. The authors emphasize that adults should be facilitators of play, not directors, allowing children to take the lead and make their own discoveries. Finally, the book makes the point that play is essential for well-being. In our fast-paced, achievement-oriented society, children are often pressured to focus on academics at an early age, leaving little time for free play. However, the authors argue that play is crucial for children's overall mental and emotional health. It's a natural stress reliever, providing children with the opportunity to relax, decompress, and enjoy the moment. Moreover, play promotes a sense of joy and wonder in children, fostering an outlook on life that values curiosity, creativity, and fun. In conclusion, the authors of Einstein Never Used Flashcards advocate for a holistic approach to early childhood development, one that prioritizes the importance of play. By engaging in unstructured, imaginative, and active play, children develop the cognitive, emotional, and social skills necessary for success in school and life. The book serves as a reminder that learning should be fun and engaging, and that children learn best when they are allowed the freedom to explore the world on their own terms through play. Point 7. The role of nature in child development. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, the authors highlight an often overlooked aspect of childhood development: the role of nature. While the modern world often separates children from the natural environment due to urbanization and the rise of digital technology, the book stresses that exposure to nature has profound benefits on children's cognitive, emotional, and physical development. Nature is not just a playground, it is an essential learning environment that fosters creativity, problem-solving, and emotional well-being. The authors argue that nature provides an ideal setting for unstructured play. Unlike indoor environments where children may be confined by rules or limited in their choice of activities, nature offers a boundless space for exploration. The unpredictability of nature, such as discovering a new bug, climbing a tree, or building a fort from sticks, encourages children to use their imagination and creativity. This kind of free play nurtures curiosity, critical thinking, and adaptability, skills that are essential for success in all aspects of life. One key idea presented in the book is that natural environments stimulate cognitive development. Research has shown that children who spend time outdoors tend to perform better in tasks that require problem-solving, focus, and creativity. Nature provides a wealth of sensory stimuli: textures, sounds, smells, and sights that engage children in a way that indoor environments often cannot. For example, climbing a tree not only helps children develop motor skills, but also challenges their spatial reasoning and understanding of balance. Similarly, playing in a sandbox or digging in the dirt enhances fine motor skills and gives children a tactile experience that is grounded in real-world interactions. The book also highlights how exposure to nature supports emotional regulation and stress relief. Studies have shown that time spent outdoors reduces levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, and promotes feelings of calm and relaxation. In contrast, children who spend most of their time indoors or in front of screens may experience higher levels of stress and anxiety. Nature offers children the opportunity to experience peace and quiet, away from the overstimulation of modern life. The authors argue that this connection to nature provides balance in a world that is increasingly dominated by digital distractions. Additionally, nature provides a context for social learning. When children play outdoors, they often interact with peers, siblings, or adults, learning important social skills such as collaboration, negotiation, and empathy. Whether they are building a fort together or playing a game of tag, children must communicate and cooperate to achieve their goals. This kind of play encourages teamwork, teaches conflict resolution, and nurtures a sense of community. The authors explain that these social interactions are essential for emotional intelligence and building strong, healthy relationships. The book emphasizes that children should have opportunities to engage with nature regularly. In the modern world, however, children often lack the time, freedom, or access to natural spaces. The authors argue that it's crucial for parents and caregivers to prioritize time outdoors, whether it's in a park, forest, or even a backyard. The book suggests that caregivers can facilitate outdoor learning by taking children to different natural environments, allowing them to explore and interact with various ecosystems. The idea is to create an experience where children can engage all their senses, develop a sense of wonder about the world around them, and learn from nature. Nature also provides valuable lessons in risk-taking and resilience. Unlike controlled environments, the outdoors offers children the opportunity to encounter manageable risks such as climbing a tree or crossing a stream that teach them how to assess danger, take precautions, and overcome challenges. These experiences help children develop resilience, self-confidence, and decision-making skills. The book stresses that safe, supervised risks are essential for children to grow emotionally and physically. By encountering and overcoming obstacles in nature, children learn to be more independent, capable, and adaptable. Another important concept is that nature fosters environmental stewardship. Children who are exposed to nature are more likely to develop a deep respect for the environment. When children observe the beauty of natural landscapes, interact with animals, or understand the intricacies of ecosystems, they begin to appreciate the importance of conservation and sustainability. The authors argue that a connection to nature instills values of responsibility and care, encouraging children to become conscientious stewards of the earth as they grow older. The book suggests that even small interactions with nature can have significant effects. You don't need to take children on long hikes or camping trips for them to benefit from nature. Gardening, observing insects, walking through a park, or simply sitting outside can be enough to stimulate curiosity and learning. The idea is to integrate nature into daily life, making it a part of children's routines. Whether through simple outdoor activities or more adventurous explorations, nature can serve as a rich source of learning and growth. In conclusion, Einstein Never Used Flashcards advocates for the importance of nature as a classroom for children. By engaging with the natural world, children learn to think creatively, solve problems, build resilience, and develop emotional well-being. The authors encourage parents to provide ample opportunities for outdoor play and exploration, emphasizing that nature not only nurtures children's intellectual growth, but also fosters a sense of connection, joy, and responsibility for the world around them. Point 8. Fostering a growth mindset in children. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, a core concept introduced by the authors is the importance of fostering a growth mindset in children. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication, hard work, and learning from mistakes, rather than being fixed traits. The authors argue that instilling a growth mindset in children plays a crucial role in their cognitive, emotional, and social development. This mindset empowers children to embrace challenges, persist in the face of difficulties, and view failures as opportunities for growth. One of the primary ways to foster a growth mindset is through the language that parents and caregivers use when speaking to children. The book emphasizes that praise for effort, rather than innate ability, is key. For example, instead of saying "you are so smart," parents should say "you worked really hard on that task," or "I can see how much effort you put into solving that problem." By focusing on effort rather than fixed traits, children learn that their abilities are not set in stone and that they have control over their learning and improvement. Praise for effort also teaches children the value of perseverance and resilience. When children understand that effort leads to improvement, they are more likely to persist when faced with obstacles. This understanding helps them stay motivated even when they encounter challenges. For example, if a child struggles with a difficult math problem, rather than giving up, they are more likely to keep trying because they understand that their effort can lead to success. This mindset shift from "I can't do this" to "I can improve with effort" is a powerful tool for cultivating resilience and determination. Another essential aspect of fostering a growth mindset is helping children learn to embrace failure. The authors stress that failure is a natural part of the learning process and should not be viewed as something negative or shameful. When children fail, it's an opportunity for them to reflect on what went wrong, identify areas for improvement, and adjust their approach. The book advises parents and caregivers to normalize failure by sharing stories of their own mistakes and how they learn from them. This helps children understand that everyone faces setbacks and that failure is not an end, but a step towards growth. The authors also stress the importance of setting realistic and challenging goals for children. Goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Smart. When children are given goals that challenge them but are still within reach, they learn to focus on their progress and celebrate incremental achievements. This sense of progress is critical for reinforcing a growth mindset. For example, instead of saying, "You need to get an A in every subject," parents can set more specific goals like, "Let's focus on improving your reading skills this month," which allows children to track their progress and feel a sense of accomplishment as they improve. In addition to fostering a growth mindset through language and goal setting, the book also highlights the importance of creating a supportive environment for learning. This environment should encourage exploration, curiosity, and self-reflection. When children feel safe to take risks and make mistakes without fear of judgment, they are more likely to engage in self-directed learning. The authors explain that freedom to explore and make decisions on their own is essential for developing a growth mindset. For instance, giving children the freedom to choose their activities or projects promotes independence and helps them take ownership of their learning. The authors also encourage parents to be mindful of how they react to their children's mistakes. When parents overreact to mistakes, it sends the message that failure is something to be ashamed of. However, when parents calmly discuss mistakes and offer constructive feedback, children learn that mistakes are opportunities for learning and growth. The book provides practical suggestions for how parents can reframe their responses to failures, such as asking questions like, "What did you learn from that?" or "What can we try next time?" A key component of fostering a growth mindset is modeling it as a parent or caregiver. The authors suggest that parents should demonstrate a growth mindset in their own lives by embracing challenges, acknowledging their own mistakes, and continuously learning. Children are keen observers, and they are more likely to adopt a growth mindset if they see their parents actively engaging in it. By modeling persistence and the ability to learn from setbacks, parents can demonstrate how a growth mindset can lead to personal growth and success. In the book, the authors also emphasize that it's not enough to simply encourage a growth mindset. Children need consistent reinforcement. Parents and caregivers should consistently support their children's efforts and provide feedback that helps them see their progress. The book suggests that parents can celebrate even small victories and milestones, which reinforces the belief that growth is a continuous process. Finally, developing a growth mindset is a lifelong journey. The authors explain that it's important for children to understand that growth is not an end goal, but a process that continues throughout life. As children grow older, they will face new challenges and opportunities for learning. The growth mindset prepares them to approach these challenges with a sense of curiosity and perseverance, knowing that they have the ability to improve through effort and practice. In conclusion, fostering a growth mindset in children is essential for their development and well-being. Einstein Never Used Flashcards emphasizes the importance of using language that focuses on effort, creating an environment that encourages risk-taking and exploration, and modeling a growth mindset as parents. By instilling this mindset, parents can help their children approach challenges with resilience, embrace failure as part of the learning process, and continuously grow and improve throughout their lives. Point 9. Encouraging exploration and curiosity. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, another key concept is the importance of encouraging exploration and curiosity in young children. The book emphasizes that children's natural curiosity is one of their greatest assets, and fostering this curiosity can significantly enhance their cognitive and emotional development. By encouraging exploration, parents help children develop a love for learning, which can lead to lifelong intellectual growth and creativity. The authors explain that curiosity is the foundation of learning. When children are curious, they actively seek answers to their questions, which drives their cognitive development. Curiosity also fosters critical thinking and problem-solving skills, as children engage with the world around them in a hands-on, investigative way. Rather than being told what to think, curious children ask questions and seek to understand the world on their own terms. This type of self-directed learning is essential for building independent thinkers who are confident in their ability to explore and solve problems. One of the most effective ways to encourage curiosity is by creating a stimulating environment that offers opportunities for exploration. The book suggests that parents should surround their children with a variety of learning materials, such as books, puzzles, and interactive toys. However, the authors emphasize that the key is not just having these materials, but also giving children the freedom to explore them in their own time and in their own way. For example, instead of dictating how a toy should be used, parents can allow children to experiment with it, discover its functions, and develop their own ideas about how to play with it. This open-ended approach fosters creativity and supports the development of autonomous learning. The authors also highlight the importance of asking open-ended questions to stimulate curiosity. Open-ended questions encourage children to think critically and explore a topic in depth rather than simply recalling facts. Instead of asking, "What color is the sky?" parents can ask, "Why do you think the sky is blue?" This type of question invites children to make connections, explore ideas, and engage in deeper thinking. When children are asked questions that require them to think and reflect, they are more likely to develop problem-solving skills and learn to think for themselves. Another key aspect of encouraging exploration is supporting children's interests. The book stresses that it's important for parents to recognize and nurture their children's individual interests and passions. Every child has unique inclinations, whether it's an interest in nature, art, music, or science. When parents provide opportunities for children to explore their interests, children feel more motivated to engage with the world around them. This sense of intrinsic motivation is powerful because it encourages children to explore topics that genuinely interest them, leading to deeper learning and greater satisfaction. In addition to supporting children's interests, parents should also encourage open-ended play. The book points out that structured competitive activities, such as team sports, can be valuable, but unstructured play, where children are free to make up their own rules and use their imagination, plays a critical role in fostering curiosity and creativity. Unstructured play allows children to use their imagination to create new worlds, explore new ideas, and test their hypotheses. The authors note that through open-ended play, children not only learn about themselves but also gain important social and emotional skills, such as problem-solving and collaboration. The authors also stress the importance of allowing children to experience failure during their exploration. When children encounter obstacles or failure, it offers an opportunity for them to reflect on their approach, make adjustments, and try again. Instead of shielding children from failure, parents should reframe failure as a learning opportunity. This mindset helps children understand that challenges are part of the process and that success is not always immediate. When parents embrace failure as a natural part of exploration, children learn to be more resilient and persistent, traits that are essential for lifelong success. To further encourage exploration, parents can model curiosity themselves. Children often imitate the behaviors they see in their parents, so when parents demonstrate an inquisitive mindset and a willingness to learn, children are more likely to adopt these behaviors. The authors suggest that parents actively engage with their children in the learning process by asking questions, exploring new topics together, and expressing genuine curiosity about the world. This collaborative approach to learning not only strengthens the parent-child bond, but also reinforces the idea that learning is a lifelong pursuit. Another important aspect of encouraging exploration is providing time for unstructured exploration. In today's busy world, children often have packed schedules filled with structured activities and lessons. While these activities have their value, the authors emphasize the importance of giving children time to explore on their own, without the pressure of achieving specific goals or outcomes. Unstructured time allows children to follow their own interests and discover new things at their own pace. It also gives them the opportunity to develop independence and self-regulation as they learn how to organize their time and make choices about how to spend it. In conclusion, Einstein Never Used Flashcards emphasizes the importance of fostering curiosity and exploration in young children. By creating a stimulating environment, asking open-ended questions, supporting children's interests, and allowing for unstructured play, parents can help children develop a lifelong love of learning. Encouraging exploration not only enhances cognitive development, but also nurtures creativity, problem-solving skills, and resilience. As children become more curious and self-directed in their learning, they are better equipped to navigate the challenges and opportunities of the world around them. Point 10. The role of positive relationships in learning. In Einstein Never Used Flashcards, another essential concept is the role of positive relationships in children's learning and development. The book emphasizes that children's intellectual growth is not solely dependent on the materials or methods used to teach them, but also on the emotional and social connections they form with the adults around them. Supportive, nurturing relationships are critical for fostering a child's ability to learn, explore, and thrive. The authors argue that emotional security is foundational to learning. When children feel safe, loved, and supported by their caregivers, they are more likely to take risks, explore new ideas, and engage deeply with the learning process. Trust and emotional security create an environment in which children feel confident and comfortable enough to ask questions, make mistakes, and pursue their interests without fear of judgment. In contrast, children who feel insecure or unsupported may experience anxiety, which can hinder their cognitive development and ability to learn effectively. The book also highlights the importance of positive reinforcement in encouraging children's academic and personal growth. Instead of focusing on grades, outcomes, or achievements, parents and caregivers should emphasize effort, persistence, and the process of learning itself. For example, praising a child for their hard work and perseverance, rather than simply for getting the right answer, reinforces the idea that learning is a journey that involves continuous effort and growth. This approach fosters a growth mindset, which is essential for building resilience and encouraging a love of learning. Positive relationships also play a crucial role in emotional regulation. The book explains that children who have strong, positive relationships with their caregivers are better equipped to manage their emotions, handle stress, and cope with challenges. When children feel emotionally secure, they are more likely to develop healthy coping strategies and better handle difficult emotions such as frustration or disappointment. Conversely, when children lack emotional support or experience negative relationships, they may struggle with emotional regulation, which can lead to issues with behavior and learning. The authors also point out that parent-child communication is a key component of fostering a positive relationship. Open, empathetic communication allows children to express their thoughts and feelings, which in turn supports their emotional and cognitive development. The book emphasizes the importance of listening to children, validating their experiences, and engaging in meaningful conversations. By encouraging children to talk about their thoughts and emotions, parents and caregivers help them develop critical social-emotional skills that are necessary for effective learning and personal growth. In addition to the emotional security provided by parents and caregivers, the book stresses the importance of social interactions with peers. While one-on-one relationships with adults are crucial, interacting with other children is equally important for fostering social development and cognitive growth. The author suggests that opportunities for collaborative play, group activities, and socialization with peers help children develop important social skills such as cooperation, negotiation, and problem-solving. These interactions also allow children to experience a wide range of perspectives, which enhances their ability to think critically and approach challenges from different angles. The concept of attachment theory is also woven into the discussion of positive relationships. According to attachment theory, the emotional bonds that children form with their primary caregivers have a profound impact on their overall development. A secure attachment allows children to feel safe and supported, which is essential for their social, emotional, and cognitive well-being. The book notes that secure attachments promote self-confidence, self-regulation, and the ability to engage with the world around them in a meaningful way. By building strong emotional connections with children, caregivers can help them develop the foundation for a lifetime of learning and personal growth. The authors also stress that quality time spent with children is more valuable than quantity. While it's important to spend time with children, it's the quality of the interactions that truly matter. Instead of focusing on structured activities or educational games, parents should prioritize meaningful, undistracted interactions that promote emotional bonding and provide opportunities for shared experiences. These moments allow children to feel heard, valued, and supported, which strengthens their emotional security and lays the groundwork for future learning. Furthermore, positive relationships are not limited to the home environment. The book encourages the involvement of extended family members, teachers, and other caregivers in a child's life. When a child experiences a network of positive, supportive relationships, they gain a broader sense of community and connection, which enhances their emotional and social development. The presence of multiple positive role models can provide children with a variety of perspectives and experiences, further enriching their learning and growth. In conclusion, Einstein Never Used Flashcards emphasizes the critical role of positive relationships in children's development. The book stresses that emotional security, positive reinforcement, open communication, and supportive social interactions are fundamental to fostering a child's love for learning and their ability to succeed. By nurturing strong positive relationships with children, parents and caregivers create an environment in which children feel safe to explore, take risks, and engage with the world. These relationships provide the emotional foundation necessary for cognitive development and lifelong learning, reinforcing the idea that children thrive when they feel supported and understood. Conclusion: Einstein Never Used Flashcards offers a refreshing perspective on how we approach early childhood education and learning. The book challenges the conventional belief that formal education, academic skills, and early intellectual achievements should be prioritized from a young age. Instead, it advocates for a more balanced and holistic approach that fosters creativity, curiosity, and emotional development in children. One of the key takeaways from the book is the importance of unstructured play. The authors emphasize that children learn best when they are allowed to explore the world at their own pace, make mistakes, and engage in imaginative activities. Play-based learning rather than drill-based education encourages children to use their imagination, develop problem-solving skills, and discover their own interests. This freedom in learning creates a deeper connection to the material and nurtures a lifelong love of discovery. Additionally, the book highlights the value of positive relationships in a child's development. Parents, caregivers, and teachers are encouraged to foster emotionally supportive environments that enable children to feel secure and valued. The ability to form meaningful relationships with others helps children develop social-emotional skills that are essential for both learning and personal growth. Children who are emotionally secure are more likely to take risks, explore new ideas, and engage in the learning process with confidence. Einstein Never Used Flashcards also emphasizes the importance of intrinsic motivation. The book argues that when children are motivated by their own curiosity and desire to explore, rather than by external rewards or pressure, they are more likely to develop a genuine interest in learning. This intrinsic motivation fuels their desire to understand the world and creates a deeper, more personal connection to their education. Another core message of the book is that parents should avoid overscheduling their children or pushing them into structured academic environments too early. Instead, children should be allowed the freedom to grow at their own pace, without unnecessary pressure to meet early academic benchmarks. When parents focus on providing opportunities for exploration, creativity, and meaningful social interactions, they create an environment where learning becomes an organic and enjoyable experience. In conclusion, Einstein Never Used Flashcards encourages a shift away from the conventional, academically rigorous approach to early childhood education. By embracing play-based learning, fostering positive relationships, and prioritizing emotional well-being, we allow children to develop the skills and qualities they need to thrive in the world. The book serves as a reminder that learning is not just about acquiring knowledge, but about fostering curiosity, resilience, and a lifelong love of discovery.